This is music, and this is a tale of beasts and plagues.
Like bloated maggots they crawl, crawl as if to a dying god. Black of mask and black of cloak, carrying crows of bloody joke.
Welcome to another episode of Off With Your Head. In this video, we're going to look to the future because we're going to have a look at the upcoming Axemaster album of Beasts and Plagues, which is scheduled to hopefully be released this year, 2026, on Cosmic Fire Records. More on this towards the end of the video, so stick around for that. And it is going to be a bit of a long video because just like the other Off With Your Head videos, I will break down the album song by song. And if you catch me looking down like this, that's because I'm checking my notes. There will also be some really interesting behind the scenes perspectives from Joe Sims himself from Axemaster. And I even have a couple of snippets from some of the songs so you can hear what a great album Axemaster, those guys have in store for you. So, a long video, but a video that spoils you rotten, I would say. Let's get down to business. The first track is called The Plagues Among Us. It's a dark and ominous, kind of oppressive instrumental, so it's kind of an introduction to the entire album. It has a heavy and doomy guitar riff, but also a guitar riff that has kind of a marching feel to it. And then you just have whammy bar insanity in the background. So it's a really intense album opener. It sets the tone for the album very well. It's a really good way to introduce a very intense album. Intense and intensity are two words I will use a lot in this video. The second track is called Murder of Crows. It starts with a bunch of kids singing Ring Around the Rosie. Already that creeps me out because kids singing nursery rhymes, that's just creepy in itself, basically. It has a heavy galloping riff that kind of serves as the backbone of the entire song. And there are lots of like pinched notes in this riff, which is a feature that just makes the riff very, very oppressive and intense. The bridge is very doomy, but it still has that galloping rhythm. And it's actually a very straightforward song, but it's just really, really intense. The vocals are really good. They sound big, they sound epic, especially in the post chorus part. And in the introduction to this video, the music you heard there was actually a snippet from this song. So I hope you could hear how intense this riff is with those pinched notes, and also how cool it is and how good the vocals are. So, great song, Murder of Crows. The third track is called The Dark Side. It's kind of a triplet driven song, if you know what I mean. It has some thrash metal elements to it, but it's heavier and slower than an all out thrash metal song would be. This one also built on, I would say, a set of quite straightforward riffs, but again, it's super intense. Especially the bridge is very intense because they make use of fretboard noises, a little bit like in Iron Maiden's song Killers. So I think that's cool. The guitar solo is kind of tasty and hard rocking, and that one also has like Dave Murray vibes to it. And that's a huge compliment coming from me. And there's a really, really cool bass-centered breakdown as well in the bridge. Um, it seems that in a lot of Axemaster songs, you got a lot of cool details and cool stuff going on in the bridges. So the bridges are always just interesting to listen to. Uh, it's a great song. The vocals, again, they sound big, they sound epic, but there's kind of like a gruff undercurrent to it. And that's part of Jeff McGraw's singing style. He does have a gruff voice. And there are even like gang vocals in the chorus. The chorus is Welcome to the Dark Side. And on Welcome, you got gang vocals. I think that's really cool. And they also add intensity. This is what Joe Sims told me about this song. He says, I wrote the lyrics for it, and it's about someone who looks down on metalheads. Someone who thinks they're better than us and believes that metal fans are just devil worshippers with no intelligence or worth. That we're basically social cast offs, a bunch of rejects. Believe me, there are still people out there who feel that way. Anyway, in the song, the phrase the dark side refers to the global metal family, and I take him to that dark side to show him that he's the one who is ignorant, judgmental, and really a piece of shit for thinking him and his kind are better than us. And that's what I like about, you know, being a fan of metal music, the kind of the global metal family part of it. The fact that, yeah, all around the world there's a bunch of very different people with very different backgrounds, very different lived experiences, but what we all have in common is we like the same music. That's what I appreciate about metal fandom. The gatekeeping, nope, I don't like that, but the global metal family, yes. So I think that's really cool that the song is about this aspect of being a metal fan. So awesome. And it's an awesome song. Okay, the next track is called Kissed with a Fist. And that's a great title. This one has an awesome guitar riff in the opening, which combines riveting power chords and chugging, palm muting. I think it's palm. You know what I mean. And this riff also occurs in the chorus, so it's kind of a recurring riff, and I think that's cool because it's such a great riff. The riff in the verse is also cool. It's kind of thrashy, and it has a bit of a slowed down Slayer vibe to it. Check it out right here.
Left for dead on this field of battle, left alone to die. Lonesome destruction, well assured, under Odin's watchful eye. No feast in Valhalla prepared for me, no feast till honor served. Rise up to meet you, the fear in your eye, prepare for what's well deserved.
That is a great song. Now, this song is kind of punctuated by kind of a small riff, I would call it, that has some cool pinched notes in it as well, and some faster, thrashy drums. There's a really cool kind of guitar solo trade-off as well. I'm a big fan of solo trade-offs, where the first solo is tasty and melodic, and then the second one is chaotic and intense. And that's just an interesting contrast right there. Now, this song is just a riff fest. Awesome. The vocals are rough, but it makes sense. It's a song called Kissed with a Fist, goddammit. Okay, the next track is called Clinging to Life. This starts out with a kind of a military-like beat on the snare drum, and then it morphs into another kind of triplet-driven song. Again, it's intense, again, it's heavy, and again, it's like slowed down thrash metal. And then it has a crushingly heavy doom metal riff too. And I really like the guitar harmonics in the doom metal riff. Uh, you also have some kind of like circus-like or carnivalesque guitar figures in the song, which to my mind kind of refer back to Overture to Madness, an earlier Axemaster album. So I think that's cool. The vocals, again, they're big and they're epic sounding, but they're a little bit gruff. That is Jeff McGraw's trademark style. And you got some outright yells in the chorus as well. they sing, clinging to life. And instead of aiming for, tonality there, Jeff McGraw just yells them out. And again, that feeds into the intensity of this song. And at the very, very, very end of this video, there is a small snippet from this song, so you can hear how doomy it actually is in parts. Okay, the next track, track 6, is called Territory. This one opens with another doomy riff, and then you just have some insane lead guitar work on top. And then it kicks into a very cool, just straight up heavy metal riff in the verse. A little bit slower, maybe, than typical traditional heavy metal. And you got a really, really cool chorus, both in terms of the instrumentation and the vocals. And this song has some rhythmic element that are a little bit challenging as well. And I think that's cool. Music that challenges you, that's cool. I like that. So I appreciate that element or that feature of the song as well. It has a really cool bridge, which is more of an atmospheric bridge, I would say. And it has an interesting intensity curve where it builds up in intensity. And I think that's cool. They kind of build that into a song. So I actually think that's a really cool bridge there. Now, you have a nice guitar solo as well with some nice heavy galloping riffs. I'm a big fan of galloping riffs, of course I am. Maybe this song is a little bit less intense than the other songs on the album, but it's just as good. And I really like that riff in the verse. That's an awesome riff. The vocals are, yeah, it's this consistent sound or approach, big, epic, and gruff. So, yeah, not as intense a song, but still a really good song, right? Okay, the next track is called Forsaken 2. Uh, the opening, to my ear, sounds like an evil purple haze. I don't know if that's on purpose, but I love it. So that's cool. The song as such is more of a chugging song, a kind of a steady, straightforward chugging song, and it has a really cool bridge as well, which combines doomy riffage with faster drumming. And you got some cool guitar soloing as well that combines chaos and tasty melody. Check out this sound clip from the song.
If false friends fail to resist, I will stand and face the enemy.
So yeah, it's more of a straightforward song. It's more of a chugging song. Uh, but it's a song as it progresses, more and more little details are added. So it's a really good song. I think it's a great song too. Uh, in terms of the vocals, in this song, Jeff leans into the gruffer side of his voice as well. And you may have noticed that it's called Forsaken 2. Now, why is that? Here is Joe Sims to tell us why.
For the people out there who may not have heard our Overture to Madness album that came out in 2015, you might not know the actual meaning of the song that's on the Plagues album, Forsaken 2. There is a song by Axemaster called Forsaken from Overture to Madness. We actually still play it live. And Jeff made a continuation of the theme of the song Forsaken, even used a couple of the lines from the original song and turned it into Forsaken 2.
But yeah, I mean, it's a great song. Okay, the next track is called Dealers. What kind of dealers? I hear you all ask. Well, let's have Joe Sims tell us who these dealers actually are.
I wrote the words to the song Dealers, and what that song is actually about is that politicians and drug dealers essentially do the same thing. It's a different kind of high, it's a different kind of way that they create a high in other people, but drug dealers and politicians, yeah, they're the same guy.
Of course, yeah, it had to be politicians. Anyways, this is a slower song. It has a slow galloping riff, and you also have like groovy riffs in here, which I think is really cool. And you got lots of little details going on in terms of interesting chords, interesting harmonics. Um, this is also a bit of a thrashy song, but slow, and it has this kind of Slayer-esque intensity to it as well, which a lot of the songs actually have. A lot of the songs are actually like slowed down thrash metal songs. It's a trademark of Joe Sims's writing style, right? Anyways, you have a lot of like dissonant sounding guitar work in the chorus, and some of the lead work, and maybe this is just in my strange mind, but some of the lead work in this song reminds me a little bit of Cynic. And I think that's cool because I'm a big fan of Cynic as well. And you got some nice, tasty guitar soloing in this song. It's a very intense song because of all the, dissonance that they use. It might be a challenging listen to people who are just getting into metal, but I think it's a great song. And it has a really cool introduction that sounds like kind of a riled up political rally or something like that. And it has like spoken word and it has like sound effects. And yeah, what's going on with that? Well, Joe Sims is going to tell us what's going on with that.
Now, if you've heard Axemaster much at all, especially since I brought the brand back in 2010 and done those albums on Pure Steel Records, you'll hear that I love including sound effects. I love putting sound effects anywhere that they can be cool and relevant. So we have that song Dealers that I wrote most of the words for, and what it's really about is how drug dealers and politicians basically do the same thing in different ways. So I wanted something that would sound like a politician talking to a crowd of supporters and all that. So what I did was I borrowed a really small bullhorn from a megaphone from a friend of mine, and I brought our other guitar player, Scott Eicher, into my apartment. Now my apartment is brick and cement block. So there's a lot of natural reverb in there. So I had him sit on one side of the room. I put a room mic on the other side of the room and had him read a script that I had written, and then getting all the natural reverb from the cement block. And then I actually used a guitar tuner, a plug-in guitar tuner on Cubase to tune his voice down some and added the background crowd noise. Voila, you have the intro to Dealers.
So yeah, that's cool. This song has everything. The vocals, again, it's this gruff meets big and epic vocals. Now, actually, it's really cool that Jeff McGraw combines those because normally I don't think you would associate gruffness with big and epic vocals, but yeah, he does that with ease, I have to say. Awesome. Okay, the next track is called Dance Macabre. Uh, this song lives up to its title. It has a very carnivalesque feel throughout the song. It actually has some, again, heavy thrashy elements, and you got some heavy chuggy riffs as well. And those riffs come from perhaps an unexpected source. Here's Joe Sims telling us how these riffs came about.
I want to give our singer Jeff McGraw some props and his due credit. Now, Jeff plays guitar as well as sings, and he actually plays a little bit of guitar with us on stage during one song in particular. But anyway, he wrote two out of the three main riffs in the song Dance Macabre. He had me come over one time and he played them for me, and he said that he wanted us to use these, and which was cool with me because I like the riffs. He said, but I don't really know how to use them and what to do with them in a song. So I took them and I changed them some. But the basic idea for those two of the main riffs in Dance Macabre are actually Jeff McGraw on guitar.
So yeah, Jeff McGraw, not just a great singer, also a writer of great guitar riffs. That's awesome. Now the chorus is very carnivalesque. It's very circus-like. It sounds like an absinthe nightmare, and you have lots of those like circus-like details in it. I mean, it is really like a dance macabre. You can imagine that, like corpses dancing and twisted figures singing along and weird masks and stuff. There's a really cool bass-centered breakdown in this song as well, and you got some absolutely crazy soloing. It all feeds into this carnivalesque vibe. It's one of the more demented sounding tracks, and in the world of Axemaster, demented is a good thing because they aim for that intensity, that unease, and this track captures that. In this song, the vocals are more in a mid-range register, and the chorus is really creepy and carnivalesque, and it has a really creepy vocal melody as well. Um, awesome song, really, really awesome song. The next song is called Machine. This has some really cool riffs as well. There are a lot of details in this song. And that's another typical feature of Axemaster songs. They throw in a lot of details, and that always makes the songs interesting to listen to. But this song also has a bit of a mechanical drive to it. It makes sense. It's called Machine, right? Uh, it's another kind of thrash-like song, just slower and heavier. And to me, I kind of compared a little bit to Invocator's album Weave the Apocalypse, which is also like a thrash metal album, but it's like mid-range, slow for the most part. Um, and some of the songs, or some of the riffs in this song actually sound a little bit like something from a 90s death metal album too. So I think that's cool. You have that element as well. So, not surprisingly, this is a very intense song too. The vocals are in this gruff meets epic and big vocals, um, but you got growls in the chorus. Kind of makes sense if you got death metal elements. Of course, you got growls too, and it's also more mid-range in places. And in the outro to this video, you actually hear a snippet from the song Machine. Okay, the next track is called Dagon Rising. This one is full of cool riffs as well. Some of them are groovy, some of them are thrashy, all of them are intense. And the chorus is awesome. And the riff has like inbuilt melodies to it, and I always appreciate that. Like riffs that have melodies in them. And you got vocals that follow along with the inbuilt melodies, and that's just really cool as well. The bridge is cool. You got some insane guitar leads, and it's just pardon my French, it's just a fucking awesome track. And I really like the vocals overall, especially the vocal melodies in the verse. Now, if you are a fan of horror literature, you may have recognized Dagon. It's kind of a creature from the Cthulhu universe, from Lovecraft's writings. And here is Joe Sims telling us about the role of Lovecraftian themes in Axemaster lyrics.
And Kim, you were right about an observation when you did a previous video on Crawling Chaos, the H.P. Lovecraft influence. Well, actually, Jeff, our three albums that he's done formed an H.P. Lovecraft trilogy. The first is on Overture to Madness, Sanity's Requiem. The second is Crawling Chaos, and off the Plagues album, Dagon Rising. It completes his trilogy as kind of a tribute to H.P. Lovecraft.
This is particularly cool to me because when I was younger, when I was a teen, I was an avid reader of Lovecraft. And the very first Lovecraft story I ever read was actually Dagon. I read it on the bus on my way to actually to recording a rehearsal demo, and my head was just spinning from reading it because I'm I'm not a native speaker of English, and Lovecraft's style is very difficult to read. He uses a lot of old words and big words. That's what's cool about it. But if you're on a bus, and you don't have a dictionary, uh, it's very difficult to read. But that was the first Lovecraft story I ever read. So I think it's really cool that uh, Axemaster, they have a song about that story, and it's part of a Lovecraftian trilogy. I think that's awesome, especially to me, given that Dagon was the first Lovecraft story I ever read. So that's awesome. The last track is called Shadows Cast. It has a doomy opening. It has some very cool riffs, again with a lot of pinched notes. That's kind of a theme of this album. A lot of riffs with pinched notes, and in my opinion, that's one of the factors that contribute to the intensity of this album. Basically, to me, it's an up-tempo doom metal song, and I think that's cool because it has the oppression of doom metal, but because it's faster, it also has the aggression and intensity of faster heavy metal music. It's a song that has another cool, straightforward, bass-centered breakdown, and I do think it's great that this is another theme to this album, that the bass gets to shine in those breakdowns, and you have so many cool guitar details in this song. It's a song you have to sit down and listen to and see if you can pick up on all those details. And it's just a great way to close off the album. The vocals are in that consistent gruff style with epic vibes and big vocals as well. But there are also some baritone notes on here, and I think that's cool. That's another interesting dimension that kicks in there. So overall, I think this is a fantastic album. The keyword is it's intense. That's the keyword of this album, and it's the keyword of Axemaster in general. In my opinion, all their output is uh, intense. But what's really cool is that from album to album, it's different factors that generate the intensity, different compositional choices, different singing style choices, different playing style choices, different production style choices. I think that's just cool if you look at the entire discography for sure. On this album, the intensity comes from uh, a focus on heaviness. A lot of the songs are straightforward in terms of the riffs, with a lot of details, of course, but they're straightforward. A lot of solid mid-tempo and also heavy drumming as well. You do have those details. The songs are generally more straightforward and punchy and heavy. That's what makes this album sound so intense. There are some repetitive elements to it, but I use repetitive in this case in the sense of trance inducing. There are a lot of those details that are kind of trance inducing, and then something happens and you go, "Whoa, that's cool." So to me, this is essentially a slowed down thrash metal album. It has the again aggression and intensity of thrash metal, but because it's slowed down, it makes it heavy and even more intense. Just like Seasons in the Abyss and South of Heaven, I would say they have the same kind of slowed down thrash approach. I mean, this doesn't sound like Slayer. Yeah, there are some Slayer-like elements. This sounds like Axemaster though, but it's similar approach. I hope you know what I mean. And I hope that the snippets I've played for you kind of capture this very well. The guitars focus on heavy and crushing riffs. There's not as much chromaticism going on this album as on Overture to Madness and to Crawling Chaos. But they are there because they are trademark part of Joe Sims's, riff writing style. There are just not as many chromaticisms on this album. There's more focus on power and chugging riffs and punching music here, and I think that's really cool. There's so many cool riffs in this album. I mean, it's insane. You got lots of groovy riffs, you got lots of thrashy riffs, and you've got some really cool lead guitar work that combines tasty melodic playing and just insane and demented chaotic playing. And that's an interesting contrast right there. So you both have melody and you have chaos in the guitar solos. The bass is solid, it's straightforward, but it does get to shine, like I said, in those breakdowns, and I think that's cool. The vocals, yes, big, epic sounding, also gruff. Um, on the previous albums, Jeff McGraw would also hit some high register notes. On this album, you don't really have those high register notes. It's more like mid range, and then you've got some low register notes every now and then, and there's more focus on this epic, big, and gruff singing style. And this is because the songs do not call for high register uh, notes, if you know what I mean. The songs call for a darker and richer voice, and Jeff McGraw delivers this because Jeff McGraw, at least that's my impression, is a professional singer. He's very versatile, but his singing style choices serve the songs. They don't serve any ego or anything like that. They serve the songs. And I think more singers out there could learn from this, to be honest. It's just my opinion. Great vocals. The drumming is rock solid and the drumming does carry all the songs. And the drumming definitely plays an important and central role in the intensity, especially when it comes to the double bass drum work. And this is kind of bittersweet. The drumming is great, but this is probably also the last studio album ever to feature Craig, the drummer, on drums because he had to retire from music altogether because of some severe health issues. As far as I understand, he's recovering well, but it was severe enough that he had to retire from music. So, send him some positive thoughts, send him some, wishes of well-being and recovery and good health. I'm sure if you go to Axemaster social media sites and just drop some posts wishing Craig well, although he's not in the band anymore, I'm sure they will appreciate it and pass it on to him. They do have a new drummer who is also an excellent drummer. Anyways, the production, at least on the press kit version that I have heard, packs a punch and it's crushingly heavy. I hope you also were able to pick that up in the snippets that I played for you in this video. It's crisp, so it's not lo-fi, but it's not polished. And it also plays a central role in the intensity of this album. So overall, I think this is a fantastic album. I think it's heavy, it's ominous, it's dark, it's disturbing, it's intense for sure, but it's also melodic, it's catchy, and it's just a great metal album, in my opinion. It might be a challenging listen to metal newbies, but it might also be the album that will take you to the next level if you're a brand new fan of heavy metal music. And importantly, I think it shows that the Axemaster guys still have it. And I hope that they will put out more albums in the future because this album is so good that it calls for more albums in the future. that have the same high quality and unique approach to heavy metal music. So yes, this is a great album. Now, if you remember in the beginning, I said it was scheduled to hopefully be released on Cosmic Fire Records this year. This is what you can do to help make it become a reality. Cosmic Fire have set up a a crowd fundraiser thing. And what you can do is, go there. It's a Kickstarter, a good old Kickstarter. Go there, uh, pledge that you will, buy a CD. They got like CDs. They got like, I think, special version vinyl. They got merchandise, all the good Kickstarter stuff. So you can go to that Kickstarter campaign. You'll see the link on screen, and you'll see when it launches on screen, probably right now. Go there, um, and chip in, help this album become a reality. It deserves it. So pre-order your copy, um, and if you want to, maybe you can pick up some of the extras. I definitely will pick up some of the extra goodies for sure. And of course, spread the words. Let your heavy metal friends know that Axemaster, they're still going strong and they have this album, and we can all come together as the global metal family that Joe Sims talks about, and we can help this become a reality. So let's do that. For now, thanks for watching.
Soul is crushing power.